Okay. Bonjour, mes amis, and welcome to the Rendezvous, the Cajun and TV show, live from the historic Liberty Theater in downtown Eunice, Louisiana. I'm Candace Reeves, a member of the staff here at the Liberty Theater. This program, the only one of its kind, is sponsored by the City of Eunice, the Jean Lafitte National Historical Park and Reserve, the St. Landry Parish Tourism Commission, Louisiana Office of Tourism, LouisianaTravel.com, the Cajun French Music Association, John Guillory Allstate Insurance of Eunice, and the Best Stop Supermarket of Scott, Louisiana. Performing this evening will be a tribute to Alphonse Ardoin featuring his friends and family. Your host tonight, Professor Emeritus of French and Folklore at the University of Louisiana at Lafayette, Sir Dr. Barry Ossolet. And now let's give a warm welcome to the Boissec Family Band.
Shoot. nous autres à soir pour se rappeler de faire Boissec Ardoin, Alphonse Boissec Ardoin, mort 8 années passées aujourd'hui, le 16 de mai 2007. Passed away 8 years ago today, May 16th, 2007, and family put together a tribute to this remarkable musician who influenced so many people, and including many members of his own family and his neighborhood. We were talking about Marvin Gaye and Smokey Robinson right before we started. We should have been talking about Sly Stone, because it's a family affair. It's a family affair tonight, baby. Bon, tu parles à Houra d'Ardoin avec nous autres ce soir. Et puis il y a quelques autres aussi. Ça, c'était Morris Ardoin. Morris, lève ta main. Yeah. Morris Ardoin, le plus vieux de la famille, et je crois qu'il vient de me dire il a 80 ans, il va faire 81 dans l'année qui vient. J'ai dit, t'as pas 81 encore? Il dit, non, rush-moi pas. Et puis, ça, c'était Dex, t'as joué avec lui.
Ouais.
Là-bas. Dex va revenir dans quelques minutes. Et allons voir qui c'est que le backline. C'est du monde que j'ai rencontré quand j'étais à peu près grand comme ça. Là. I was this big when I met y'all, and everybody had darker hair. Including me.
Wait a minute now. You can't say that about me yet. I haven't got there yet.
Including me. By the way, Russell Ardoin on the triangle over there. Another one of the sons. Ronald Ardoin sur les tambours droit là. Some of the original, with Lawrence over here, some of the original members of the family band, at least when I first met them back in 1974, we put together the first tribute to Cajun music, and we featured Cajun music and Creole music at that first thing. It was March 26, 1974. Y'all remember? Yes, it was raining, cats and dogs, pouring down raining. The lightning was coming, and about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I thought, man, if this doesn't clear up, I'm gonna have to move, because then they're gonna never let me live in this town again. First one I see, I didn't know if anybody was going to come. We didn't know if any musicians were going to come. First one I see get there is Boisek. He's got his accordion case high like this and his pants rolled above his knees walking through the water. I said, we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. I tell you what, Boisek and Kendrick got there early, and Lionel Leleu and Varis Connor, and those are the 4 people we did the sound check with, because they were there early. Anyway, I first met all these guys back then, and
that's why I was so glad that I'm the baby. So you guys are way before me. So you guys are antique compared to me.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just being honest.
Now there's some babies back there.
Now it is, thank God.
Yeah. On the guitar, Trey Ardoin.
Ronald's son.
On the bass over there, Chris Ardoin, but not that one. Another Chris Ardoin.
My dad's brother's son.
There you go. And right back here on the fiddle, one of the mainstays, the person who probably learned more from Ken Rafonto than anybody else on the planet, Mr. Ed Poulard. And let's play some more music. Miss Mary Jane Broussard is with us here too, a part of the family. Et on va continuer avec quelque chose qui s'appelle Allons danser. Mary Jane, how did you end up hooked up with all these guys up here?
All them guys, they are some Ardoins.
Yeah.
And I'm Ardoin.
Oh yeah.
I'm one of them.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Now-
I'm Boisec niece.
But how did you get started playing music? I mean, this kind of music was pretty much a man's world for a long time.
It was. But I started playing. I like the music. Yeah. So my uncle always told me, he said that I would do like everybody else, go Zydeco. So I always told him, I said, no, uncle. I said, this music is mine, it will always be. Yeah.
There you go.
So, and when I did learn how to play at the house, I didn't thought I was good enough. But one time he told me, he said, you good enough to be with the band, and whatever you don't know, the band gonna pick you up.
There you go.
So it started from there.
Well, we're happy to have you with us tonight.
Thank you, it's a pleasure.
But je veux quelque chose, now, usually it's a guy singing this. Petit ou la grosse, c'est tout le même prix. But, you know, what the hell?
Well, it's the other way around too. It's the other way around too.
There you go. Oh, look, before you start, I gotta do something. My wife Caroline's here tonight. Yeah, you remember when Boisec they'd come play at my house for we'd cook a pig in January, and a bunch of y'all used to come, and he would sit in the living room. I had to revarnish that floor. I had to revarnish that floor about 3 or 4 times because he would keep time. Did y'all ever notice that he pushed away? He would push away. Yeah. Now, I know. The interesting thing is that where he sat, right there, it was down to the bare wood. And 4 or 5 years in a row, he sat in the almost exact same spot because I just had to revarnish a little spot this big, but it pushing away like that. And I tried it, but I can't do it. Have any of y'all ever tried figuring it?
Ronald used to be able to do it.
Really?
In his younger days.
You got to slide, yeah.
But he lost it. As the gray hairs come up, he lost it.
Oh, come on, man.
It's not his fault.
But it wore me up, threw my hip out of socket when I tried to. All right, quelque chose qui s'appelle Petit ou la grosse.
Thank y'all. Merci beaucoup.
The lady's doing a good job there. Hey, boys? The lady's doing a good job there, hein?
C'est la famille des Ardoin.
I'll tell you what, ça court dans la famille. Ça court dans la famille. Mary Jane a dit qu'avant qu'on commence, elle voulait jouer une valse. Elle voulait jouer une valse. Ça fait... on va laisser la femme. Yeah. OK. Moi, je jouais une belle valse que Boissec jouait dimanche après-midi. dimanche après-midi. That was close, man. That was close to the original right there. That was close.
Thank you.
Very close. Tant qu'à celui-là. Tu as joué une autre? Tu as joué une autre?
All we needed was.
And that little wink, wink, wink did help too. Yeah. Sean Ardoin, another of the grandsons. By the way, weren't you one of the kids who was dancing that first night?
Where?
No, I mean, no, it's 77 on the stage, no? Who was
St.
that?
Louis. I went to St. Louis.
No, who was dancing on the stage? Who's the little kids that were dancing on the stage?
It was after that.
Yeah.
It was at a festival. That was Harold. He was supposed to be.
Harold.
That was me too.
Yeah, it was him too.
Yeah, at the festival.
77, huh?
Yeah, we went to Bay St. Louis.
We're having a discussion amongst ourselves. We'll be back to y'all in a second.
But my point is that by the time Boisek and the family band played at the first festival in '74, Boisek had tried to retire. Because Gustave was playing. Then Gustave, unfortunately, got killed in an accident, and Boisek stepped back up. He only played a part of that night because you played. Yeah, and somebody else played the accordion. You did. Bud, no, the first night. And Boisek gave the accordion up, and he was dancing on the stage by himself. Et j'ai demandé, j'ai dit, tu peux danser avec? Il dit, la plus légère femme, j'ai jamais dansé avec. She was the lightest woman, the lightest on her feet I ever danced with. It was nobody. So,
Is Harold in the house?
Harold?
Harold was supposed to be in the house, and he was going to demonstrate that.
Yeah. And I don't know if y'all remember. I think it was 1983, I believe. So early in the 80s, we dedicated the festival to the Ardoin family tradition, the family band tradition,
It was
and they danced again. Sean's going to do one of. Actually, this song is probably more associated with Kenrick because he used to sing it, but they used to play it together all the time. Quelque chose qui s'appelle les bars de la prison.
Can't hear me now?
I can't hear you.
They can't hear me, so we're going to do this old school.
la prison. Yeah. One more. What's that?
The same thing we was doing earlier.
Is that? The no-name two-step.
The no-name two-step. It's a two-step without no name. That's why we call it the no-name two-step. Thank you.
There's the Sean Ardoin. By the way, Harold just got here. Harold, what's going on, man? We were just talking about you. Yeah, dancing on the stage at the festival that year.
Yeah, Gerard Park.
You and Sean. It was you and Sean. When I first met these two guys, they were that big.
Yep.
They were about this big.
I was a little shorter.
You what?
I was a little shorter.
A little bit. Glad to have you.
Yeah.
We're going to bring up Dexter to...
1979, we went to Bay St. Louis, Missouri, and they were dancing.
Oh, yeah? So, Dexter turns out, comes from that amazing Ardoin fountain in L'Anse des Prix Noirs. But he moved to my neighborhood.
That's right.
Over in Austin. Very happy to have you.
I'm
Happy to be there.
Man, I tell you what, it added a lot to the musical tradition out there. We got Zachary Richard who lives out there, and Kevin Nakan, and Horace Trahan, and Hubert Met, and Dexter Ardoin. I mean, my God, you talk about Chris too. That's right, Chris lives just up the road. Lance de Prien is coming into Scott, baby. And we ain't stopping it.
Country comes to town, huh?
That's it. No, country comes to country. Dexter's going to do one. Dexter's made almost a study of the way his grandfather played the music. Do you do that? Push? No?
You know, I can't do it.
No. But he made a study of the way his grandfather played the music, and it's just an amazing thing to hear. Mr. Dexter Ardoin, quelque chose qui s'appelle Fais pas tout ça. Yeah. I don't know how many people know that...
Does the fire alarm? The fire alarm just going off? Set the fire alarm off, man.
I don't know how many people know that The Ardoin family and Henry Fontenot were among the first musicians from this area to take the music outside of the area. In 1966, they were invited to play at the Newport Folk Festival by Ralph Renzler, who had, in 1964, gotten Dewey Balfa and Gladys Thibodeau and Vinus Lejeune to play. And in 1965, the Londrenos had played. 1966 was the Ardoins with Henry Fontenot. And they said, I talked to Boissac, this is in his own words, these is his own words, which we put in a book about all those days. He said, I asked him, how did it feel to be playing up there in Newport, Rhode Island? He said, well, this is a quote. I'm translating. At first, frankly, we felt downright funny about the whole thing. We felt far from home. We played all right, but it wasn't like playing at home for our folks. There was so many to start with, a whole crowd of people watching us. When you see thousands of people watching you for the first time, and you're there facing them with only an accordion and a little old fiddle, that's not an easy thing. When they told us it was our turn, we had to brace ourselves. Il dit, il fallait qu'on se prépare. We both had shivers, him and Kenry. We both had shivers as we went up on stage. And then we started getting along with the people, and they were applauding our music. It's like our fears melted away. We learned what it was like to play for a crowd. And he told me at the time, he said, we had never heard anybody clap. We had never heard anybody. I mean, the dance halls, nobody ever clapped. At the end of a song, you went and found, you walkulated back and found another one. But he said, we heard people clap, and he said, he looked at each other, he said, what's that? What are they doing? He said, they're doing that for us. Come on. And it kind of put them at ease, and they got over it. But so that was 66. By 1974, when we did the first music festival, they had played all over the place. They were pros. They were veterans. And they knew what it took to get a crowd to clap. And man, did they do it that night. It was unbelievable. People that night thought they came to hear Jimmy C. Newman, and they did. But they got to hear a lot of other stuff too. And it was a wonderful evening. Dexter va jouer un autre pour nous autres quelque chose. And you want to play the waltz? Shatter to it?
All right.
Shatter to it.
j'ai toutou. Hey, mon cher toutou, fais pas avec ton nez, j'ai toutou, j'ai toutou.
Ardoin. We'll be back in just a second. Ronald, I want to ask you something.
Yes.
When's the last time you had this much fun?
Been a long time.
You got another one that bought sex about something.
That as much fun as he's having is illegal in several parishes. Something. Huh?
He played the harmonica, Donna Ray Caesar. He's going to get it. He lives in South Carolina. He's doing that for a living, so I told him if you can play pop music, go get it.
Good.
We're going to add it to the greatest.
Dexter, can you talk a little bit about learning from your grandfather? How'd you get interested? How old were you?
I'm going to say it like this. When I was about 3 years old, I started messing with the accordion, playing a little bit, because Daddy had a little club back in the days, the Cowboy Lounge.
Right.
And during the week, he would keep his instruments in there. And you can't hear me? Uh-oh. I'm sorry. You'd be sorry. But Dad would keep his instruments in there, and so I would sneak, while he was out at work, I would sneak away in there, and Mom wouldn't tell me nothing. And so I would play all day until I knew he was coming back home. Just before he would get back home, I would save everything and thinking that he wouldn't notice. But Daddy was slick. You know how the old people, they would save stuff a certain way. And they would check it every day, all day. And he would save his instruments that same way every time. Man, I never saved them right. So he would ask Mama, who was messing with his instruments? Mama never said nothing. I was Mama's baby, so everything was good.
That was Gus.
Yeah.
That was Gus.
Yeah. But then one day Daddy came home early, and I never heard no vehicle and nothing pull up in the yard. And when I noticed something, he was standing in the door looking at me.
And you were going at it?
Yeah, and he was in the door just like this. And when I turned around, I was like, no, that's not exactly what I said, but it was close. But and he said, well, okay, so that's you messing with my stuff. So, and ever since that day, he said, you ain't got to hide nothing. He said, we're gonna play together. And until earlier today, we played together. And I enjoy it every time I get a chance to play with my dad.
You know, it's what we're seeing here tonight is the result of a long-standing love for the music in the Ardoin family, but also an interest in passing it along. I mean, look at how many of the grandsons played. Look at how many of the sons played. Bosek would haul them around with them everywhere. I mean, it was a family thing, and you could hear the love in the music. You can hear love in the music.
You know one thing, though, Mayor? People always tell me they can see the resemblance of a family in one's face. And Ardoin, anybody that knows about music would be able to tell any Ardoin. Just give them an instrument and see what they can do. Because all the Ardoins can play.
There he is. But Boisek said something about that. He said, when I was talking to him back then, he said in his own words, you know, you have to have music in you to play. To be a musician, you have to be committed to the music and have it in your family. It has to be in your blood for you to learn easily. You see, in my family, all my children learn without any trouble. But then you take someone like Kenray, he's a great fiddler, and yet not one of his children plays. It has to run in your family, but it also has to be in you to become a musician. That's his own words. He also, in that same conversation, was talking about some guy named Sean.
You rang?
He said, Lawrence is teaching his son Sean to play too. There you go. So, yeah.
I'm in the history books, man.
There, that's it.
It's going down.
Dexter, one more. Johnny can't dance. Ardoin Family Band. By the way, that song was called Johnny Can't Dance, but Donald sure can.
Hey,
Please, folks, don't try that at home. This man's a professional.
hey, Bear.
Yeah,
Me and Harold was just up here thinking about what y'all were talking about earlier.
yeah.
About how when we was on stage, when we were like, I was younger, way younger than him. Way younger than him. Way. And we were on stage and we were just recalling the move. We were just recalling the move. We got buku tips that day too.
Oh yeah, man, brought the house down.
Hey, you know, I want to share with my Uncle Black that I still want my $50 back. You know, that they threw on the stage to me, but you picked it up, put it in your pocket. I still remember that.
By the way, Mr. Ed Poulard's going to come up and take the accordion. That story he was telling about learning to play from the instruments in the old club, it reminded me a little bit about the story Boisek told me. Again, in his own words, he said, I was young when I started getting interested in playing music. My old mother was poor. My father died when I was about 2 years old, as close as I can remember, maybe 2.5. I can remember him just a little, like in a dream. When he died, she had to take care of us by herself. In those days, people didn't have any money. She had to get a job washing clothes so that she could feed us. We also made a little crop. I had an older brother who hired himself out to help my mother. And he talks about his brother bought himself an accordion, and I didn't have one. He went away to work, and while he was gone, I would take his accordion so that he wouldn't catch me playing it. Sounds familiar. This is Boisek talking. I decided that the only way for me to learn was to get up on the barn. Got up on top of the barn so I could see him coming from far and get after it. But I got caught. I didn't know when you're high up you can see far, but the sound carries far too. One afternoon he came home after getting off of work. He asked me who had been playing his accordion. I said, I don't know. I pretended not to know. So he said, you know you're lying to me. Catch the accordion and play that song you were playing a while ago. I wanted to play, but I didn't want to give myself away. Then I thought, well, I'm caught anyway, so let it ride. I took the accordion and started playing. He had never been able to learn too much, so he said, from this day on, go ahead and play. You know I haven't been able to learn. Since you seem to be able to play, then play. But that accordion was still not mine. And he eventually got himself one. Now, Lawrence was telling me that it turns out that that actually wasn't his brother's accordion.
It was his daddy's accordion. He was an accordion player. But we just found this out last year. My grandmother told him the story that she was sick with the flu, with the pneumonia. And then he got the pneumonia and he passed away and she survived. But she said he was a good accordion player and her daddy was the oldest one. So he had the accordion, but he couldn't play it. And daddy started picking with it. And then after he heard what he was doing, so he said, well, you take it. He said, I can't learn anyhow. But that was originally his daddy's accordion.
So it seems to run in the family. Seems to run in the family about sneaky accordion students. Runs through all the generations. We have Mr. Ed Poulard with us tonight as well. He's going to play a few Boisek songs. And I think he's going to start with the
waltz.
The waltz.
Yeah.
La Valse de Berlin.
Give Tillo a chance to catch
Ready?
Ready?
song that came to Bois Sec through Amédé Ardoin. Old, very old song. We'll talk a little bit about Amédé in just a second. Tu veux faire fond de culotte? Tu as crié? This song is it's called the Fond de Culotte two-step, and Bois Sec said he learned it by the seat of his pants, just like that. Funky Lot two-step, and that's exactly how they played it just now. It's Donald Caesar, musique à bouche. The old French word for that thing was a ruine babine. There's a ruine de babine constituted. Before we go, let me just go hop down. Can I still do this?
Hey, we ain't got no insurance. We ain't got no insurance.
Good.
Sign a disclaimer.
Give it up for him, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for him, please.
Daryl.
Check 1, 2.
Celebrating the music of the Ardoin family and the Ardoin musical tradition and heritage in this area. Had with us Daryl Bork, who is, among other things, a former colleague at the university and former poet laureate of Louisiana, who's been working with a group of people who are trying to commemorate one of the people that inspired Bois Sec a lot, Amédé Ardoin. You want to tell us a little bit about that project?
Well, the Amédé Ardoin project is a community project to build a public memorial somewhere around Amédé's home. I first heard about the Ardoin family, Lawrence and Ronald and Dorothy and all of the children of Bois Sec who were trying to get Amédé's remains brought back to the area. And when we found out that that was impossible because he was buried in an unmarked grave, my idea was it's not impossible to symbolically bring him home, because we need to do that as a community. And so we're engaged in the Amédé Ardoin project. I'm on Facebook. My name is Darrell Bork. If you're interested in the Amédé Ardoin project, on our steering committee we have Dorothy Fruget right there, right? And Lawrence, not Lawrence. Lawrence is a supporter, certainly, but Dexter Ardoin is on the committee as well. And the former mayor of Eunice, Miss Lynn Lejeune, is on our committee. And there are a whole group of people in the Eunice-St. Landry area who are helping us out. We about a fifth of the way in raising money. We want a life-size statue of Amédé put somewhere near his home to bring him back. Join us in the effort.
Thank you. Thank you. Amédé often sang in his songs about being so sad to be away from home. We have to bring him home. So, Lawrence, let's see if I can get back up now. Up, baby.
And you what, 42?
Hey, Barry.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Hey, Barry.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like the old days. I mean, look at, I'm the baby and I'm older than you guys.
I know. Hey,
But look at that. Ronald's here,
I know.
Black's here, Edward's here.
I'm telling you, it looks like the festival in 1983.
That's what I'm talking.
Dexter, come here, just for a second. Darrell was talking about how much it meant to him. But you want to say a couple words about what this means to the family?
The statue would mean more than words could say if we could get it done. And we're in the process of trying to raise money. Like Mr. Darrell said, it's a long and ongoing process. And we're having fundraisers here and there, all around. But this summer, we're going to try to do something in Mamu at the Civic Center. It's going to be all the family, friends. It's going to be all music pretty much all day, I would say. And we haven't set the date. We haven't confirmed anything with nobody yet, but we all talking about it. So y'all keep an eye open, keep an ear open, and we could use your support. Anybody and everybody could help us. We would appreciate it very much. Thank y'all.
By the way, Festivals Acadien Creole has pledged $1,000 to the effort, putting our money where our mouth is. It's a lot of, this all started with a simple question. Somebody said Amédé died in Pineville at the mental hospital. We said, well, where was he buried? We don't have any records.
I went over there.
Yeah, have to have some records.
Yeah, I went over there back until 1950. They did not have a marking for anybody that was buried in that graveyard.
Yeah, in the common graveyard.
Right.
So I even tried to get the Amédé died as the result of a beating he received.
Yes, exactly.
And caused him brainstem injury. And so I figured, there's no statute of limitations on murder. So I said, I wrote to the district attorney and I said, I want the case reopened. And he said, why do you want to do that? I said, because that's going to make y'all find his grave. And they said, well, really can't. We really can't. As you found out, too, they really don't know where it is. But we can bring his spirit home in this
exactly.
statue. So, let's play some music in honor of not only Bois Sec, but Amédé, too.
C'est bon.
Quelque chose qui s'appelle Jean à moi. Jean Amour, a song that became one of his signature songs of Bois Sec and Canray over the years. C'était une vieille chanson. Je crois que Amédé avait appelé ça la valse à Abe et on appelle ça à Star la valse de 99 ans.
Which means 99 years old.
Yeah, and
I'm close here.
Yeah, Joel Sonia used to play it so fast we used to call it the 99 mile an hour waltz.
Mon
99 ans. C'est Lawrence Ardoin. On a le temps pour, je crois, une autre chanson avant de finir. I wanted to read y'all one last thing that I recorded Boisec, his oral history, and he said, of course, he passed away 8 years ago today. Before he died, he said, this was back in the early 1980s, music has allowed me to see lots of things. It has helped me very much. It's given me memories, and I've seen lots of people in lots of places. It's been my life. I can't make as much music as I used to, but as long as I can, I'm going to play. I still love to play, although I can't play every Friday and Saturday night like I used to. The old mare hasn't finished her race yet, but she's running all the time. He played until the very end. I remember seeing him on this stage and at the festival in Lafayette just a few months before he passed away. Stayed in love with music and stayed in love with the idea of passing it on to his family, as we see tonight. You ready? Y'all gonna really try this? Bonsoir Moto? Oh yeah?
I don't think we're gonna try.
Man.
I think we're gonna do it.
All right. This is a song that used to be played when it was time to go home.
That's right.
It was Allez-vous-en. Le bal est fini. Bonsoir, Moreau.
Man, we got to get a good picture of all these people up here. We ain't been on stage together since the 70s.
We got several good pictures already.
But except for Trey and little Chris back there, they missed the 70s. They was
I like
born
the way
in
you
the
said
80s.
that, little Chris back there.
Hey man, I'm thinking positive. You know what I'm saying?
Caillette pas tiré.
Bonsoir,